Commissioner, do you have a message for deaf people who may have been abused in institutions, but the institutions are no longer operating? I'm just wondering whether, as service providers to the deaf community, I'm wondering whether you would be able to share a message with us.
It's very bad to start with an People that have been abused from the deaf community should not hesitate in coming forward to the Royal Commission to tell their story, simply because the abuser is no longer with us, in other words, they've died, or they're very old, or because the institution has ceased to exist. We've heard from many people where the institutions no longer exist, but their story is exceptionally important. The story is about what happened to them, understanding what happened in that institution, and understanding how we can better respond into the future. But the second thing is, we're very conscious in relation to the redress arrangements that I've referred to, that we can't simply have a scheme that allows some people to be compensated where the institution exists, but where the institution no longer exists, those people have no support and no compensation. And so we are looking at redress not only where the institution still exists, but where the institution has ceased to exist. In relation to the redress scheme that I referred to in Queensland and Western Australia and in other states, they covered people that were institutions that had long since ceased to exist. So just to be clear, we believe people from the deaf community should come forward, irrespective of whether the person that abused them is still living, irrespective of whether the institution still exists. But secondly, we will be looking at what sort of support needs to be provided to people that were abused in institutions that have ceased to exist or have morphed into another organisation. Many of the institutions themselves don't exist, but strangely enough, the actual organisational structures do, and they have simply changed or become different types of institutions. So we're looking at that, but don't hesitate to come forward to the Commission, whether the institution exists or it doesn't exist. The other thing too is sometimes there are two institutions at stake here. One is the institution that provided the care, for example, the residential care service. The other is the government that arranged the care and had supervisory responsibility for that institution. And we need to be able to understand their role in the particular response or lack thereof that occurred to you. Just the same as the institutions that we're talking about in terms of police and child protection agencies more generally are of interest to us.